Now, listen, you guys, it seems like the Transformer has finally decided to come for Nicki Minaj directly. What started out as a space where she was addressing people speaking on her children, she ended up calling Nicki Minaj old and washed up and calling her out of her name several times, which I now feel like this is what she's been looking for all this while. We're going to be talking about that, and I'm also going to be inserting everything that she did say. And at the same time, Nicki was actually on Stationhead, and I do thank God that she did not fall for this. I do hope that she continues the way that she is, because it is very clear right now that the Transformer is just looking for Nicki Minaj to respond to her, to probably revive her career, because I didn't see the correlation, and there are a lot of inconsistencies that we will be talking about. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea plug. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So let us talk about the Transformer and this whole "don't speak on my kids" situation. It seems like a sister continued to go back and forth with some fans, and on Twitter, and the fans were really eating her up. And people also pointing out that, well, whilst they were trying to shade a 4-year old, they failed to even like do the alphabet correctly. And it's very unnecessary, in my own opinion. It's very vile. The fact that people can brag, even in that space, you could tell from her tone. She's like, "Oh, my kid can speak. Oh, my kid can speak. Smart. My kid came out being smart and can speak." And I'm just like, that's just being tone deaf. And these are the things that people like Milagro continuously point out. And if you're looking at this from like an objective point of view, it's never okay to speak down on kids who cannot talk. And like the words that she kept on using, "Oh, you thought my kid was gonna be a retard," and I'm just like, wow. You guys can come in the comment section and start saying that, "Oh well, you guys are jealous, even without literacy she's still rich." But now I'm beginning to realize that a certain level of literacy, a certain level of exposure, a certain level of education is important. Okay, it does also help to have a little bit of etiquette, because if you're not considerate of how many people have kids that are actually struggling, that have autism, you would be sensitive about things like that. So the fact that she's throwing it in people's face like, "Oh, my kids are not autistic, my kids are smart," there, I'm just looking at her like, "Oh, what is the problem? What is this, honestly?" And for those of you, I do know that in the comment section there are a lot of women who have expressed that, well, they have got children who are autistic and things like that, and you guys have expressed that in the comment section. I just want to let you know in the comment section that as a community, we are actually moving towards the right direction, regardless of a few bad apples. People are beginning to be aware of autism, what's to be done. People are being supportive, and don't let this get to you. Don't let ignorant people get to you. Don't feel like your children are less than just because somebody else is coming through saying these disgusting and ignorant things. Okay, so shout out to some of you who have expressed in the comment section. We really applaud you for the good job that you're doing with your children, and we're proud of you. Okay, we're proud of you. Be proud of your kids. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. However, let us move on to what the Transformer was basically saying in that video. She ended up calling Nicki Minaj old and washed up, and what started off as a video, or what started off, as a space of her addressing the children thing, she kept on throwing some subliminals towards Nicki Minaj, up to the point where she just had to call her old and washed up. And what's interesting to me is her reasoning. You guys, I can't, she just shouts. There are people who feel like the louder they are, the more hardcore they are, or the more powerful they are, and this is what it's giving. And at this point, it's kind of redundant to try and have a conversation with someone like her, because her logic is flawed. Because in one breath she says that, wow, how everything started is because I was out there speaking at that Kamala Harris rally, and my housekeeper sent me a video of my son, and that's when I tweeted that my son is smart, and people started saying that I'm shading someone. And the reason why people started saying that I'm shading someone is because, well, it turns out someone was shading me. Okay, so it's because this person, this B word, she's old and washed, and she was shading me. And that's where you begin to realize that upstairs, I don't know, like I don't know her logic, because in one breath you're saying we should believe that you were not shading someone because you were minding your business and doing things of your household, but in another breath you're calling Nicki Minaj old and washed because she posted Wendy Williams laughing, and so you're convinced that she was shading you. So make it make sense. We're supposed to believe that you were not shading her, but we have to believe that she was shading you. Do you see, you guys, where it's not making any sense? So if Nikki posts a laughing emoji, a meme on her page of Wendy Williams laughing, everybody hold up because I was embarrassing myself at a rally. She was laughing at me. But if you post something immediately after saying your kids are so smart, no, I'm not shading anyone, regardless of my fans, because her fans have been doing that for a very long time. Her fans have been calling Papa B slow and a lot of things for a very long period of time. But we're supposed to believe her. But when it comes to Nicki Minaj, we're supposed to say that Nicki was shading her. And that's the reason that she decided to call Nicki Minaj old and washed at this point. And I'm not even going to start talking about the old and washed thing, because that doesn't make any sense. How do you say somebody who has had the highest grossing female rap tour washed? And as for the old thing, like, who drakes somebody up over age? That's so kindergarten. And yo, you guys, honestly, I don't know, you guys, honestly. I thought there was some sort of reasoning in her head, but after today, I'm just like, wow, it's really nothing in that head. Absolutely nothing. And for that reason, that's why I don't even have energy to say much, you guys. It's absolutely embarrassing, and it's clear right now that even up to now, Nicki Minaj has a worked up, okay? Because Elon even did worse, but we didn't see this energy, and now you're going on a Twitter rant pretending to be fighting about your kids, but you know exactly what you're trying to do. And I do hope this time Nicki Minaj continues to pay her dust. I went to a station head immediately after, and she was giving advice to her barbz about employment, careers, and things like that. And I do hope that she does not fall for this trap, because clearly this girl is pathetically trying to look for something that connects her to Nicki Minaj. So I do hope that Nicki keeps it in. I do hope that Nicki Minaj does not respond to her, because clearly she is fishing for a his moment. For me, it's the shamelessness, you know, and that's how you can tell that she's still stuck in 2017 and 2018. She's still stuck there. She's still stuck with the old insults, the washed insults, and it's only that now they don't even make sense. They don't apply to Nicki Minaj, especially the washed one does not even apply to Nicki Minaj. And he, I don't want to call her dense self cannot comprehend that that washed thing does not stick anymore, because that's not the reality on the ground. And if they are together with the sister, is this not the part where you tell each other what's tea? Oh, wow. I will just insert you guys what she had to say, and after that, I will insert what the Queen was talking about on Stationhead with her fans. I want you guys to pay attention to the calmness, to the poise, and I hope she continues being that. I hope she continues looking at this girl sideways. And this is the girl that the whole industry came out supporting, justifying her nonsense. This one that's saying this one that's teaming up with a sister to shade a 4-year-old, this one that does not understand the importance of not speaking down of on autism, this one that is tone deaf like this. Listen, you guys, there's a lot of things that I may not agree with Milagro, but this is what she continues to talk about. First, is people that do not identify in the sexuality that she feels like they should identify with. And then second, she comes for, it's the Rochis. Third, it's what else? Now it's autistic people. Now we're speaking down on autistic people. Like, how tone deaf can one be? And the fact that she continues to do things like this and people don't make her face any consequences just goes to show you how hypocritical the industry is, the world is. And if people are determined that they're going to support you because you are going against someone they dislike, trust me, you can get away with anything in this world. And if you're somebody who supports her and are still going to come in the comment section defending this type of behavior, I don't have any words for you, you know? It's okay. But let me just insert everything, you guys, and until my next one, see you.
I'm feeling super proud of myself. Then my house manager is sending me videos of my son spelling out his name and spelling out other. I said, I said, my kids are so smart. I get back on Twitter, people like Shay, 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 Shay. But now I know why they were saying Shay because they calling me Shay. But I don't pay attention. I don't give a fuck about them because it's old and washed. I'm not looking at them. I'm not checking for them. So now when I say something good about my kids, people want to take it as shade because other people want to throw me shade. Leave me alone. And because of that, 3 days later, I can still talk about my kids. And now I'm not playing when it comes to my kids. I'm not. I'm not. Fucking miserable. So about is Cardi B okay? I think she will be needing a therapist. No, you know what I'm gonna need? I'm gonna need a jail. What that shit boils down to. Exactly. Fucking tired of the back and forth, fake ass trolling, fake ass anything. Go to fuck sleep. The fuck? I'm the one that's going through a divorce and it seems like other miserable. How the fuck am I the one that's going through the divorce and I'm not even miserable? Leave me the fuck alone.
Um, you're ready for a job, maybe not college though. So how do you know you're ready for a job?
Nikki?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Well, because my kid is 19 and I always thought it would be Freedom 45 at 45 because she turns 18 at 45 for me. And now I'm 46 and she's 19 and she decided it's time for her to move out for me to get a life and pursue all of the things that have been placed on hold in the meantime. So that was all.
Um, can you say? I forgot what the comment was though. Now I forgot what the comment was.
Oh, it was uh, ready for a job, but maybe not
Oh,
college because
the job.
she's in university now. So
Okay. So, and what I was saying is, and you said you're ready for a job, but you don't know about if you're ready for college, meaning, right? Is that what you were
that's
saying?
yes, yes.
So, how do you know you're ready for a job?
Well, I think I'm ready for a job because I've got 45 years under my belt and a whole bunch of life
45 years
experience.
under your belt of what?
Well, being a mother, I've going to college but not completing.
Oh, what did you major in college?
I went to York University for theater. That was back in '97. I wanted to go to New York, but once I found out that York University had theater because Western University at the time did not, I I sort of changed my direction and went to York University instead of New York. And
You couldn't get
then,
accepted to Juilliard?
I didn't even apply. I don't know what the heck happened.
So
I just
what did you want to do? So okay, it looks like you wanted to do theater then, right? Acting,
I
right?
did. Yeah, I wanted to do acting, and then I really started liking directing, and I was just pulled in a bunch of different directions because of financial difficulties at the time. But yeah, so I ended up dropping out after trying to work and go to
Okay, so
school.
what is your goal now when you're
Uh,
saying you might want a job doing what?
well, to be honest with you, I continued doing some production work
King of the
after.
Pack said, Nikki, give her a job. I like her. Please shut up. Like, y'all be talking as if y'all are 9 years old, going on 10 years old. Yes, give her a job. I like her. Shut up. What are you even talking about? Get serious. You, like, what? Do you know what giving someone a job entails? But because it's not you or your money or your brand, of course, hey, let's give everyone a fucking job. You get a job, you get a job, 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 job. What the fuck is you talking about? So my question is, what were you talking about when you said you were thinking about getting a job? What industry were you thinking about?
Well, basically, I have a production background in many different areas of production. So I continued doing some of that after my daughter was born, and working on a set for a production called London Tonight with Jeff Leeson in London, Ontario. Here, a lot of people left and went to Toronto and stuff. I was raising my daughter, so I had to stay
Okay.
and have that.
My question is, what we're trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out because of your comment, what is the plan now in
I
terms
that
of a job? When you say a job doing what?
well, to be honest with you, it's sort of in the universe's hands because I
Okay,
do
well,
feel
honey child, if it's in the universe's hands and out of man, God bless you and have a good day, sweetheart. Oh, you see, rule number one, if you don't know, I don't know. Rule number one, you have to know clearly what you want to do, especially by that age. Nobody can figure that out for you. And she's one of my barbs, so you know she knows I love her very much. I'm glad we did that conversation though, because when you go to a job interview or if you ever speak to somebody, never do that ever. The person doesn't care about what anything personal that you've had to deal with or sacrifices that you've had to make. You know what I mean? They don't care. They are trying to figure out how you can benefit them. They are trying to figure out how you can benefit their company, how you can bring profit. So you have to have something they want. And one of the things they never gonna want is someone that is indecisive. An indecisive person that is now, just now starting a job or a career or something like that, that's not the safest bet for an employer. I want you to put yourselves into the mind of an employer. because that's the person who stands to lose everything. You didn't put up any startup money into that employer's vision, right? So I guess you have the right if you want to wake up and be indecisive, but the employer will never hire you if you come and talk about your daughter, the sacrifices you made. That's those are the conversations you have with your friends. Your employer is not your friend, or a potential person that can help you. They're not your friend when it comes to business. They don't care. And in fact, what it does is it turns them off. Because in their mind, they just remember this, employers have to think quick. They're going to judge you based off past experiences. Immediately, that's going to put into someone's mind, oh, okay, this person is always going to have an emotional excuse for something. This person is always going to want to be pitied. This person is always going to want to, and that may not be the case at all. That really may not be you at all. But the only thing they have to go on is what you just said, the fact that you, in other in other words, if you spent your last dime, let's say, building a home, and you do an interview and one of the people, and you say, can you be a house sitter? And one of the people says, you know what, I don't know. I mean, because but for 40 years, I mean, I might as well now, 40 years now, after my daughter in the college, and I went to, and sometimes, I mean, it's in the universe's hands. And then the other person comes to the interview and says, oh, absolutely. I wake up every single day at 6 in the morning. I'm an early riser. I can always be reached no matter what time it is. I am diligent with, making sure I'm double and triple checking everything, that the lights are on, that the lights are up, that this is that. This is exactly why I want to do this. Why? Because I take delight in someday being in real estate. So I decided to start out in this area. I love this home. I love this neighborhood. I hope to own a home in this neighborhood one day. Like whatever that is really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really gonna make that person feel that you're strong, and that you are reliable. A person needs to feel like they can depend on you. Anyone who tells another person who's not their friend or cousin or auntie it's in the universe hands. I guess. And while we're on that subject, I say this to a lot of people throughout the years. I say to Black people who I work with in any capacity, I say, you know what, just because I'm a Black woman or of a certain age or do a certain genre of music, because I've been saying this my whole career. I used to say, and still do, don't come over here acting or thinking I'm your friend. I don't want a friend. I don't want you to be my friend. I want you to do your job well. You see? And I make sure I remind the ones that I get really cool with, I always say, listen, as a Black woman especially, make sure when you're working with or for however you want to describe another Black woman, don't disrespect her. Don't do things that you wouldn't do if you were working for the white man or if you were working for a 60, 70-year-old man. Don't do that. They're not your friend. And it's disrespectful because they've worked for what they have. They've worked, they've put in the course to be the boss. So don't come in there saying, girl, yeah, you not. That doesn't make them feel good. Go out of your way to show respect to that black woman, to that maybe the only other woman there, to the only black man there, to the only whatever there. Go out of your way to show the same respect, not more, not different, just the same amount of respect in honor of what that person did to get to that place. So I don't know if I were a white man, if she would have came up in here and said the universe is in the universe is, I don't know. I would hope not. You never know when is your moment to change every single thing in your world at the drop of a dime. Let me ask you guys, and again, to that Bob that I just spoke to, that's one of my real barbs that I love very, very much. That is always here supporting and rocking. So I want y'all to understand that she knows where it's coming from. It was an overall just, lesson for all of us because there's certain things that I wish someone would have taught me. When I was going on interviews, I really, really, really fucking wish I knew how to sell myself because I would get into so many places and I would be smarter than people and they were making more money than me because I didn't know how to sell myself. And when you sit in a motherfucking call center answering phones all day and seeing somebody, right next to you that fucking goofs off all day and is not as smart as you and doesn't even care, but they're getting a few dollars extra an hour simply because they requested it. Like, you. Anyway, so I wish certain things were taught to me. I would have, you know, I would have made different